Well, in the 1970s, local author Armistead Maupin enthralled readers with his newspaper serial, Tales of the City, about the lives of free-spirited singles in San Francisco. This week, the American Conservatory Theater in San Francisco staged previews of an ambitious new musical based on his iconic saga.
San Francisco, San Francisco. Marianne, Marianne.
More than 35 years after author Armistead Maupin dreamed them up, the vivid characters from Tales of the City are making their journey from page to stage.
Thank God it's you. What's that?
My world-famous poulet olivain.
With the side of pasta, something or another?
The new musical follows the adventures of Marianne Singleton, her gay friend Michael, and all the tenants of Barbary Lane as they navigate the ups and downs of single life in the city.
I had a one-night stand with a married man.
Marianne Singleton, the central character in Tales of the City, the new girl from Ohio who comes to San Francisco in 1976, grew out of a nonfiction piece I was trying to write about the heterosexual cruising scene at the Marina Safeway. And I went down there on a Wednesday night and found a whole bunch of people trying to pick each other up around the vegetable bin and couldn't find anybody who would talk to me. So I went home and I made up this new girl in town named Marianne. And the editors of the Pacific Sun said, why don't you follow them? We named it The Serial.
In 1976, the San Francisco Chronicle picked up Armistead Maupin's column, and Tales of the City was born. From Russian Hill socialites to Castro drag queens, the column captured the zeitgeist of the San Francisco dating scene.
What I liked most of all was that I was treating homosexuality as normally as I would treat any other subject matter. They thought they were going to be getting letters from people who were horrified and didn't want to read this in the paper, and they got quite the opposite. Everybody got involved in it because I was covering everybody. It was gay and straight and young and old, a variety of humanity that I was hoping reflected the glory of the city itself.
Within 2 years, Armistead had published his first novel based on the columns, and in 1994, a PBS miniseries starring Laura Linney and Olympia Dukakis brought Tales of the City to life for viewers across the nation.
Yes, some furniture's included. Are you?
It would prove inspirational for a whole new generation of fans.
Yes.
I first became familiar with the books by watching the miniseries, actually, and I watched them while I was in college, and I didn't know what it was. I sort of stumbled on it, and I was a gay man coming out at the time, and so I was instantly sort of seeing people like me on television, and that was quite significant.
Michael, Marianne, Michael.
Hi.
Hi.
But also that it was just so entertaining. I wanted more. I wanted to know what happened next, and I feel like that's always the sign of a good story.
Tell 'em all that you're Marianne from San Francisco, San Francisco.
Yeah,
Director Jason Moore heads up the team staging Tales of the City. But it was librettist Jeff Whitty who first pitched the idea of adapting Tales into a musical to Armistead.
Tales of the City is about how do you live in the world as an open person, and that everyone, no matter who they are, has a certain degree of coming out to do.
This is your landlady responding to a noise complaint. There isn't enough of it. May I offer a humble gift in trade?
And Tales of the City is largely about how assembling these families, whether they're your birth family or the family you've created, how these are the families that can get you through the rough times.
Take 78.
Opening this show in San Francisco, there will never be any opening I will ever have that is more exciting and terrifying at the same time, because this is Tales of the City's home. Everyone is going to know these stories and relate to these characters. And the goal has been to really, really honor that, but also deliver a show that someone who doesn't know Tales at all can walk in, sit down, and be completely engaged by the lives of these people.
I read Tales of the City originally when I was probably about 13 years old. And to me, the whole series was kind of a rite of passage.
Jake Shears is the lead singer of the alternative glam rock band Scissor Sisters and one of the composers of Tales of the City. He's had chart-topping hits and sell-out concerts, but never written for musical theater until now.
The reason that Jeff Whitty thought of the Scissor Sisters, Jake and John, were because their music already sort of sounded like the 70s, everything that we sort of love about it. You know, it's disco and it's funky and it's, but it still sounds quite modern. And I think, to me, that's one of the things we're trying to do in the show, which is how do we evoke that period without trying to recreate it?
Not surprisingly, the songs are often provocative, reflecting a time of free love. One of the most audacious numbers in the show takes place in a Nevada brothel, run by an old madam named Mother Mucka.
Ride 'em Hard is a big brothel number. It's filthy. It's a really filthy, you know,
it's
dirty,
outrageous.
Dirty song. Someday, if there's any high school productions of Tales of the City, I don't know what they're going to do with this one, but it's very funny, and I'm really proud of it.
Tales of the City on the surface is a period piece about the 70s, about a very vivid time that we can have a lot of fun with. But the themes of it that have to do with making your own family, with being true to yourself, coming out in whatever way you have to do that as an individual, those are as important as they ever were.
When it gets too much, how can we make you understand?
Well, the Tales of the City musical runs through July 10th at ACT here in San Francisco.